Imagine walking away from 18 million followers. Imagine turning your back on millions of dollars a year. Now imagine doing it at the peak of your success, when you're gaining 12 million subscribers in just 18 months. That's exactly what Luke Nichols did. The man behind Outdoor Boys built one of YouTube's most beloved family channels, only to shut it all down in May 2025. But here's the thing nobody's talking about. This wasn't a sudden decision. The truth behind his departure is darker, more complex, and way more relatable than anyone realizes. The Alaska beginning, 200 words. Luke Nichols didn't start as your typical YouTuber. Born and raised in Anchorage, Alaska, he spent his childhood surrounded by wilderness that most people only see in documentaries. But instead of staying in the wild, he became a criminal defense attorney in Virginia, grinding through 100-hour work weeks defending clients in court. His escape? A small fishing channel called Catfish and Carp, where he'd film himself catching fish whenever he could steal a few hours away from the law office. Then 2015 happened. Luke launched Outdoor Boys with a simple concept: take his 3 young sons on wilderness adventures and film it. Camping, fishing, survival challenges, all wrapped in wholesome family content that felt genuine in a sea of fake YouTube personalities. But he didn't quit his day job. Instead, he worked himself to the bone, building both careers simultaneously. Early morning court cases, late-night video editing, weekends in the wilderness with his boys. His wife Rebecca supported the dream, but nobody knew how big this thing would actually become. What started as a hobby was about to turn into something neither of them could control. The explosive growth. Nobody expected 200 words. Between late 2023 and mid-2025, something insane happened. Outdoor Boys went from 3 million subscribers to 15 million, then 18 million. Videos that used to get a few 100,000 views were suddenly hitting 40 million, 50 million, even 74 million views each. Luke's wilderness cooking videos, his survival challenges with the boys, his ice fishing expeditions, they were going absolutely viral. The money followed the views. Estimates put his earnings at potentially $4 million a year. The Alaska governor publicly praised him. Media outlets called him one of the platform's biggest success stories. But here's what most people don't know. His content was being stolen at an unbelievable rate. 4 billion views on other platforms. That's billion with a B. Faceless channels were ripping his videos, re-uploading them, and making bank off his family's adventures while he got nothing. Luke was trapped in a cycle. More success meant more work, more content thieves, more pressure to keep producing. Every video had to be better than the last. Every adventure had to top the previous one. And through it all, he was still trying to be a present father and husband. The dark side of fame. 200 words. The cracks started showing in ways most fans never noticed. Luke couldn't take his family out to dinner without being recognized and interrupted. His kids couldn't attend school events without strangers approaching them. The privacy they once had in their Alaska hometown completely vanished. Every grocery store trip became a photo opportunity. Every family moment had the potential to become content. But the real toll was physical and mental. Luke pushed himself beyond human limits. He filmed a camping video while battling pneumonia because the upload schedule demanded it. He'd edit videos until 4 in the morning, sleep 2 hours, then head out for another adventure. The wholesome dad image that millions loved was being maintained by a man running on empty. Rebecca watched her husband deteriorate. She saw their children growing up in front of millions of strangers. The family that started this channel to share simple, outdoor adventures was now living in a fishbowl. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. They were teaching people to disconnect from technology and enjoy nature, while being more connected and exposed than ever before. Something had to give, and Rebecca knew it before Luke was ready to admit it. The trolls and accusations. 200 words. When Luke finally announced his retirement in May 2025, the internet did what the internet does best. It created villains. Thousands of comments blamed Rebecca. They called her controlling. They said she forced him to quit. They accused her of ruining something beautiful because she couldn't handle the fame. The narrative spread like wildfire. Supportive wife turned dream killer. But these trolls had it completely backward. Luke had been planning this exit for years. He'd told Rebecca he wanted out long before the final video dropped. The decision was his. driven by something most people couldn't understand: the realization that fame is toxic. Not the money, not the opportunities, but the constant exposure, the loss of anonymity, the feeling of being watched every single moment. Meanwhile, content thieves continued profiting. Channels with millions of subscribers built entirely on stolen Outdoor Boys footage faced zero consequences. Luke's family adventures were generating revenue for strangers, while his own children couldn't live normal lives. The platform he'd helped build was eating him alive, and the audience demanding more content couldn't see the human cost. They just wanted another video, another adventure, another piece of the Nichols family. The goodbye that shocked millions, 200 words. The announcement video hit different. Luke sat down, looked at the camera, and told 18 million people he was done. Not taking a break, not slowing down. Done. The comments section exploded. Disbelief, sadness, anger, confusion. How could he walk away from this? His explanation was simple but profound. He compared fame to digging clams on an Alaskan beach. You can keep digging, keep collecting, keep pushing for more, but at some point, you have to recognize when you have enough. When the bucket's full, when continuing to dig serves nothing but greed and ego. Luke revealed something most fans didn't know. He'd been planning this retirement for years. This wasn't a sudden decision or a breakdown. It was a calculated exit from something he'd come to understand was fundamentally unhealthy. His exact words cut through all the speculation. Being in the spotlight is not healthy for human beings. Not for him, not for Rebecca, and definitely not for his 3 sons who never asked to grow up with millions watching their every move. The video ended. The channel froze, and millions of fans were left wondering if they'd ever see the Outdoor Boys again. The brief returns. 200 words. In November 2025, something unexpected happened. 3 new Outdoor Boys videos dropped. Fans lost their minds. Was he back? Had he changed his mind? The comment sections filled with hope and speculation. Maybe the break recharged him. Maybe he realized he missed it. Maybe retirement wasn't what he thought it would be. But Luke shut that down immediately. These videos were promises he'd made before retiring, content he'd committed to delivering. Nothing more. Then something else brought him back to the camera. His friend's channel needed help. The friend was battling cancer, and Luke stepped in to film a collaboration video, supporting someone in crisis the way his community had always supported him. Each time he appeared, the question followed. Are you coming back permanently? His answer never changed. Nope. One word. Firm, final. No explanations, no maybes, no doors left open. He'd made his decision, and unlike most creators who retire only to return months later, Luke meant it. The Outdoor Boys chapter was closed. He'd said goodbye, and he wasn't the type to go back on his word, even with millions of dollars and adoring fans begging him to reconsider. The new mission, 200 words, December 2025, brought clarity to what Luke was doing with his life after YouTube. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints announced his appointment to the Young Men General Advisory Council. The same values he'd shared in his videos, faith, family, hard work, self-reliance, he'd now teach in a different context. No cameras, no comment sections, no content thieves, just direct impact on young people who needed guidance. But he didn't completely abandon content creation. Instead of being the star, Luke shifted focus to his eldest son Tom's channel, Outdoor Tom, which had grown to 1.6 million subscribers. He could still share his knowledge and passion for the outdoors, but from behind the scenes, supporting his son's journey instead of being the center of attention himself. The transition revealed Luke's true priorities. He'd always preached that faith and family came first, but actions speak louder than words. Walking away from potential millions to actually live those values, that's rare. Most creators talk about balance while chasing every opportunity. Luke put his principles above his platform, his family's privacy above his fame, and his mental health above his bank account. He found peace in obscurity, something impossible to achieve with 18 million people watching. Conclusion: Luke Nichols walked away from something most people spend their entire lives chasing. Millions of followers, financial security, recognition, fame. A career doing what he loved with the people he loved most. He had the dream, and he gave it up. But was it really a dream anymore, or had it become a prison with golden bars? When your children can't go to school without being recognized, when dinner with your wife requires a disguise, when you're editing videos at 4 a.m. while fighting pneumonia, success starts looking a lot like suffering. Luke made a choice that terrifies most creators. He chose enough over more. His channel sits frozen now, a time capsule of adventures that millions still watch. But the man behind it has moved on. He's not making content. He's not chasing views. He's just living. Something he couldn't do when the cameras were always rolling. In a world that screams growth at any cost, Luke Nichols whispered a different message. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away. The question isn't whether he made the right decision. The question is whether he made the only decision that would let him stay true to himself and his family. And looking at where he is now, peaceful and present, maybe that's all the answer we need.